In the distant memory of the Renaissance, where darkness and light coexisted, people began their journey. A journey full of thorns and potential danger. More than 100,000 years ago, when darkness covered the Earth, the first fires lit humanity's steps, illuminating the path of discovery and progress. They were hunters, collectors, and people who made a living in the forests and wilderness. Through their creativity and desire to explore, they developed tools, weapons, and survival skills to overcome the ferocity of nature. Although still immersed in the slavery of nature, humanity continues to rise and progress. They discovered and conquered new lands, conquered high mountains and vast oceans. Every step, every civilization that emerges from the darkness makes a huge mark in the history of the Earth. But not every journey is smooth. Struggle, conflict, and challenges are always lurking ahead. Humanity has faced threats from both within and without, war, the harshness of nature, and even confrontation with inexplicable supernatural forces. However, through each challenge, humanity continues to find ways to overcome it. Their steadfast spirit and strong will shape their journey, transforming them from solitary hunters into powerful communities, from laggards into great explorers. And through each generation, values and knowledge are passed from generation to generation, which are the foundation for human development and progress. They learn from the past, live in the present, and dream about the future. With thousands of years of experience and learning, humanity has not only survived, but also prospered, asserting its strength and wisdom across all lands and seas on the planet. It's the dramatic story of what pioneers did 100,000 years ago to create the world we know today. We live in a time of rapid change, where technology and culture transform in just a few years, although our current lives are significantly different from the world of our ancestors, historically technological. Innovation has often been slow and even non-existent, especially in rural areas. The concept of a new product usually only lasts for a short period of time, and the enormous change in this world simply does not exist for the average person. But if we look deeper into history, we see that there are cultures that have existed for hundreds, even thousands of years with the same technology without any significant progress. People living in these cultures may not have been as cognitively complex as we are today, although progress still lagged behind our modern pace. Human history can be seen as an evolutionary process from humans living in a primitive world full of teeth and claws to modern humans with complex thinking and advanced global culture. Our ideas and innovations, like the use of needles or carving, have been developed over thousands of years. But if you put a modern human into a primitive environment, it might take them thousands of years to understand such simple concepts. This shows that every culture on Earth is the product of millions of years of evolution, and progress is undeniable, especially when considering human development over hundreds of thousands of years. Although the species Homo sapiens has existed for about 200,000 years, their shape and anatomy in the past may have been quite similar to modern humans, but their behavior and culture were very different. During the Paleolithic period, modern behavior began to emerge, but was still less complex and not comparable to our diverse cultures and societies today. Many paleoanthropologists believe that Homo sapiens did not achieve modern behavior until about 50,000 years ago. Evidence for this comes in the form of extant material, as well as certain genetic mutations that spread throughout populations over long periods of time. The earliest evidence of modern human behavior comes from Lombos Cave in South Africa about 100,000 years ago. Here, sophisticated technology and artistry were developed, highlighted by excellent stone points. These kick heads consist of three parts: a hard hammer, a soft hammer, and the tool used to push the scale down. The pressure peeling technique used to create stone tools appeared earliest at Bumbo Cave. This is important because pressure peeling is one of the most important techniques in stone tool production and only became widespread worldwide about 50,000 years ago. There are some points that have been heat-treated before use, so it is easier to use. In addition to practicality, these points also have artistic and symbolic value, not simply as convenient. Tools: there are spots of higher artistic quality, but there are also spots that are left out, perhaps because they have deeper aesthetic value or for other reasons. These spots did not develop anywhere in the world until the Salutarian cultural period in Europe. A culture may have created complex tools and art to express their creativity. Complex stone tools and other implements have been discovered at many bone sites, including stone inscriptions and spear points. This technology may not have been widely available worldwide until about 50,000 years later, but there are still many remarkable discoveries in this cave. Art has also been discovered, with a piece of stone painted with 9 red lines, showing a creation dating back 73,000 years. The red color is created from iron-rich ochre, a material used in art worldwide. More than 8,000 other works of art were found, including engravings and fragments. Some pieces have greater artistic value and may be left behind for reasons other than utilitarian function. In addition to the artwork, other finds include ochre-stained kits, including abalone shells and bones as well as shell beads. The remains of many aquatic and terrestrial animals have also been found in this cave, including fish, seals, shellfish, and even dolphins, as well as terrestrial animals such as eland and turtles. The diversity of prehistoric peoples' diet suggests they used a variety of techniques. The discovery at Bumbo Cave is important in understanding this period of evolution. However, it is not only Bumbo Cave that holds high-class relics during this time. On the Simliki River in Congo, many intricate spear points have been found dating back to about 90,000 years ago. These spears are very powerful and are combined with many barbs and are ineffective. There is evidence that humans were accustomed to hunting large animals such as giant catfish, and this is supported by the finding of many catfish bones around the ruins. In addition to hunting, there were also burial finds. At some locations, a small pit containing the remains of a 3-year-old child was discovered, suggesting they may have been intentionally buried. This is the earliest evidence of human burial that is an important discovery. Moving to North Africa, we see the arterial culture appearing about 150,000 years ago and flourishing until about 20,000 years ago. They are famous for their ability to reduce points, can be divided more easily, and can be used as spear throws or even dart modifiers. This technology emerged about 20,000 years ago, and the earliest evidence comes from Western Europe. However, prehistoric atlases do not leave many traces in the archaeological record if they are only made of what is usual. It is possible that by Tyrion's time they were attached to shurikens, although it is also possible that they were used for good old spears. Their culture was complicated by their hunting tools, which captured a wide variety of game including antelope, rhinoceros, and even elephants. Along with hunting tools, there were also artifacts such as shell beads and ochre found at some of their sites. Although shell beads were not a household name during this time period, there are still some nods to modern human behavior. Some of the shells found originated from the East Coast and were found very far inland, suggesting long-distance trade networks. Other sites in Africa from this period show that documents could be transported up to 300 kilometers. Clearly, hundreds of thousands of years ago, our species reached critical mass in its homeland, although during this time it also expanded elsewhere. From very early on in our evolution, species lived in the Middle East, the oldest non-African sapiens fossil is a jawbone dated 190,000 years ago from Israel. There have also been recent discoveries of a separate population living in this area, distinct from Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. It's unclear how long the complex existed, but these ruins suggest that the Middle East may have been a meeting place for many diverse human species. 100,000 years ago, Neanderthals became most common in the Middle East. Remains from several caves in the area show that they carried out complex activities such as burying their dead and using red ochre. Neanderthals are often portrayed only as big game hunters, but they actually hunted and foraged a variety of foods. Evidence of mammoth hunting and shellfish exploitation was also found. In addition to hunting, they are also capable of abstract and symbolic thinking. For example, in the Bruno Blanket Cave, hundreds of stone fragments and works of art were found. They also used red ochre extensively and engaged in strange activities such as town beating and strange funerals. It seems that Neanderthals were on par with modern humans in terms of their complexity. Although modern humans are still confined to Africa and parts of the Middle East, there have been some successful migrations, perhaps as far as India. East Asia is a diverse land of mountain ranges, tropical forests, and archipelagos, creating ethnic diversity. In the northeast, Denisova has become famous, with ruins showing the lives of both Neanderthals and Denisovans, hybrids of Neanderthals and Denisovans. The origins and development of Neanderthals and Denisovans to prehistoric human groups closely related to modern humans are becoming clearer through new discoveries. In a cave in the Far East, the remains of Neanderthals were found, representative of their widespread distribution. However, Denisovans have only been recorded into different locations: Denisova Cave in Siberia and an area in northwest China. The findings show a limited geographical distribution of Denisovans and Neanderthals, with only two independent sites finding traces of Denis in their DNA. Some findings reveal the culture and technology of these groups. For example, in northern China, the ribs of a large animal were carved and dyed red, suggesting creativity and the use of color in art. Although their stone technology appears simple, they developed a complex material culture. Additionally, some evidence implies that there are interactions between different species. For example, a complete skull found in northeast China shares many features with a Denisovan skull, although genetic testing would be needed to determine this. Similarly, modern human populations in Southeast Asia have more Denisovan DNA than other populations, suggesting interactions and migrations between species. On the sidelines, discoveries in Southeast Asia also reveal other wonders about human evolution. Among them is the existence of Homo floresiensis in Flores, Indonesia, a small species of humans that evolved due to limited resources and evolutionary pressures. This sheds light on the diversity and complexity of the evolutionary journey of prehistoric humans. The evolution of prehistoric humans on small islands has influenced modern inhabitants, although not directly related to Homo floresiensis, the smallest human species recorded on Flores. Although this species was small, it lived and developed similarly to other hominins on the island, including other animals such as large lizards and pygmy elephants. Their diversity, although bordering on science fiction, is just one example of the strange things we can imagine every day about their lives. Meanwhile, new discoveries of Homoleswensis, a species of hominin found on the island of Luzon, reveal the uniqueness of this population in the evolutionary history of Southeast Asia. Although little evidence remains, such as teeth, fingers, and toes, they suggest a type of hominin with deep ties to modern humans. The last recorded appearance of humans in Luzon was approximately 771,000 to 631,000 years ago, although the actual age of the species remains unclear. Although the size of Homoleswensis appears to be comparable to that of Homo floresiensis, there is insufficient evidence to make a precise estimate of this. Another interesting feature of this species is The way it crossed the Huxley line to reach the island of Luzon, suggesting it may have used simple, seafaring technology. Although their technology is simple, they have proven capable of hunting local animals. Finally, the diversity of peoples in Southeast Asia shows that this region has a rich and complex history of human evolution, although research on this region is poor compared to Europe or Africa. In the future, we hope to better understand the mysterious Denisovans and other tiny human races living on these islands. If you like this video, don't forget to follow our evolution content. Please subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.